Classroom tests can happen. It is possible that you'll have a classroom test. Now, if it says a classroom test, it's an open book test. It means it'll happen in here, or in whichever room you're in. You'll be sat where you are, and you'll have your notes or any textbook you feel is necessary with you. Okay? Which you'd think, well, that sounds easy. The problem is that it's timed. Okay? Now, if you say, oh, it's an open book test, that doesn't matter, I'll just take all my notes with me, I'll just take my couple of textbooks with me, I'll sit down and I'll answer it. But if you've only got 40 minutes to actually complete the test, and you've got to sift through all of your textbooks to find the information, sift through your notes to find the information, it'll take you 40 minutes to do that. You won't have time to actually write anything. So it doesn't mean, the fact that it's an open book test does not mean that you don't have to revise. You still should revise. You still should look for the sections that you're going to be looking at in your textbooks and make notes. Stick post-its in there, stick little markers in there to show you where to look, to make life faster for you. Yeah? If we say it's going to be on matrices, then highlight the notes and have a look at them the night before that you've got from your maths module on matrices. Have a look at them first. Yeah? Don't think just because it's an open book it's going to be a doddle and you're going to get through it without any revision. You are working at degree level here. I know it says foundation degree, but it's still the first year or two of your degree. So we are working at that level. Be aware of that. It's not going to be easy just because it says it's open book. And then papers are submitted at the end of the test. So it's not as if we say to you, there you go, there's your classroom test, thanks very much, you do the work and take it away with you. You actually hand it in, and then we'll grade it pretty much straight away, or within a couple of weeks. That some subjects will have exams. Now, an exam is a closed book. You do not take notes in with you. If you take notes in there with you, then it's cheating. So it's just not worth the risk. Set up. You've all done exams. If you've all done exams exactly the same way. You set up in a row of tables, away from everybody else, and papers on your desk. You answer the paper. Away you go. Again, I don't know what the percentage is for each one of those, but your module tutor will tell you at the start of every subject how that works. Okay? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about exams or classroom tests. They're not terribly difficult. Not terribly difficult for you to achieve, but you have got to put some effort into them, revising, committing stuff to memory, so that when you get in there, you know what you're talking about. Yeah? What you don't want to do is go in there stressed. If you go in there stressed, you'll never do it. You've got to chill. Stay as calm as you can. Just go in there and do the business. Okay, projects. Certain subjects you have to do projects in. Okay. Now, a project sometimes is referred to as a case study. We give you a scenario. You then have to report on that scenario. In health and safety, I might, in health and safety, give you a case study where somebody was injured, or in law and contract, I'll give you a case study where somebody was injured. You then have to report on all the legal implications, social implications, moral implications of that injury that's happened to that person. Referring to cases and things like that. And you actually use it as a project. And at the end of it, you'll come up with a suitable conclusion or a possible suggestion. So in the case, if we're talking about law, you might find that you say, this is what I expect the outcome to be if this case ever got to court. Yeah, based on your arguments that you present. Sometimes you'll find that the project could be timed. I don't mean timed as in we'll give you 20 minutes to complete it. Timed as in I'll set it today and in 3 weeks' time you have to submit it. If you are given a timed project, that tends to take priority over all of the other assignments because it's timed. When you're writing assignments, what you need to do, because you'll have maybe 3 or 4 different assignments for different subjects on the go at any one time, what you need to do is prioritise. And the typical student thing to do is to prioritise on the hardest one. I don't understand this subject, so I'm going to focus on that one and do as much as I can on that one. Yeah? What you should do is the exact opposite. Focus on the one that is easiest to complete. Get it done, get it out of the way. It's done, it's finished, I can forget about that. I've now only got 3 assignments to think about. And then I'll do the second easiest one. Get it done, get it finished, get it out of the way. I've only got 2 to think about. If you focus on the hardest one every time, you'll have 4 assignments in the back of your head all the way up until you finish the hardest thing, and then you'll try and thrash the others out. Yeah? Try and reverse your thinking. Deal with the easiest one first. I understand construction site operations, I understand what's needed. Yes, I've got to do a bit of research for it, but I understand the assignment. I will do that, I'll focus on that, I'll get that done and get it finished and out of the way. Okay? That's what you want to try and do, if at all possible. Now then, if you get a timed project, obviously you've got to focus on that. Because it's timed. You've got maybe 3 weeks to complete it or 2 weeks to complete it. So it might turn up in the middle of one of your subjects and you're in the middle of doing another assignment. Drop everything, do the timed homework and get that finished. Unless, of course, your next assignment that you were trying to work on is due in a week's time. I wouldn't drop it then. But if you've got maybe a month to go on this one assignment and this timed homework is for 2 weeks, drop everything, concentrate on that timed homework. Okay? Again, we're still going to need references in there. You're still going to need to do some research. So treat it pretty much the same as the others. Make sure any conclusions you make or any suggestions you make are valid and are actually relevant to the work that you're doing. Okay? Don't tell me, if you're doing an assignment or a project on management theorists, don't start telling me that's something to do with knitting. You see what I mean? It's got to be relevant. It's got to relate to the work that you're doing, the project you're doing. If at the end of your assignment you feel you haven't made a conclusion, then you haven't finished the assignment. You've got to make a conclusion, you've got to make a suggestion when we're talking about projects. Okay, if you haven't finished that off, then it's not complete. If you've just spent 2,500 words just writing the information and giving me all the facts of the case, reporting on different cases that relate to it, then without actually telling me a conclusion or a suggestion at the end, then you haven't finished it off. You've got to do that. You've got to complete the assignment. Okay, so just be aware of getting caught out with that. Sometimes we can get tied up with all the nitty-gritty of the assignment and forget the reason we're there, which is to make a suggestion or to make a conclusion.